Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're playing a 3+2 game. I wanted to apologize for this. Usually I would pick up a longer time control for the sake of the viewers who want to enjoy some longer time controls and more commentary. But I was just sitting there waiting for like maybe 5 minutes for somebody to accept my request of playing a long game. Nobody did, so I decided to eventually to pick up the slightly faster time control game. So hope everybody will forgive me. Now we will try to go in this game for the so-called hedgehog system. I'm going to try to set it up. I'm not sure how well would it work, but basically, yeah, he played this move knight c3, so which is a natural move, but usually they would play a move like c4 to gain more space before making such a move. But okay, let's so many moves in this position. I'm not even sure what's the state of theory these days. Let's try bishop c5. Who knows where it would lead us. One of the ideas of the move bishop c5 is to now go back actually to e7 and kind of claiming that instead of playing the natural move bishop e7 right away, playing this move in two tempos actually makes some sense, because now the knight is much less centralized on b3 and it doesn't create any pressure against my position. So it does make some sense, but at the same time it means that I had to once again settle for this slightly modest looking structure of pawns on e6 and d6. But yeah, these two pawns has some potential in the long run. I hope that I will have some chance to later on to show it. So I will have to play slightly faster this time. Okay, let's castle. Probably I should do this at some point. Now the white setup is much more aggressive. At some point he would like to maybe push his pawns aggressively in the center. But at the same time the black's position is extremely solid. It's not easy to embarrass him in this kind of structure. He has no weaknesses. You see that all of my pawns are still in their initial positions, which means that the white's attack is not going to be delivered as easily as he might at least wish. So at this point it's very important for me to, first of all, before anything else, to achieve that fianchetto position for my bishop in order to finish my development. I think my opponent is taking some time here in order to consider the consequences of the move e5, which is an it's always a very important move to consider, because it's opening up some diagonals for his pieces. But typically I think I should be fine in this kind of complications, because white is perhaps not ready yet for such aggressive movements. Yeah, so now this move queen g3 indicates that perhaps white is already thinking about this pawn push e5 or f5. Even though e5 I believe is much more critical, much more dangerous for me, and I will give it, let's say, more attention, or I'm more afraid of it. Let's say it. Let's put it this way. Let's try to go for some queenside counterplay, b4. I kind of like this move because now I either force his knight to go into slightly more passive position, or if he takes on b4, then I recapture with my knight, and at an opportune moment I can eliminate his potentially very strong bishop. Probably this is the reason why he chose to go back. I think I will capture on a3 at this point. Yeah, now this knight is kind of passive on d1, which makes me actually want to play a move like d5. Let's sacrifice the pawn. You know what? Let's have some fun. Basically, I'm sacrificing the pawn for the sake of activity. Also, eliminating this bishop on d3 I think is a very important priority for me, because I think that without the bishop on d3, white's attack will run out of steam, kind of. And my opponent takes a very brave decision to actually take with the rook. Once again, brave, but I don't think it's very strong, actually. I even think I have some nice tactical detail here, which is knight d4, with the idea to threaten knight e2. Slightly edgy. But once again, very low on time. Okay, let's just develop pieces. You know what they say, when in doubt, develop pieces. Cannot be a bad idea, right? Gee, very low on time. Let's go for the same strategy of developing pieces. So what I really want to achieve at some point is exchanging these two bishops. I think once this is achieved, you should have no attack whatsoever. Let's even play this move. Yeah, slightly passive, but perhaps worth the effort. Jeez, why I'm so low on time? Always forgetting to adjust to the time control when I'm not choosing the regular the longer time controls. Well, I have to eliminate this guy. Okay. My idea is now to try to consolidate my position with knight e7, knight f5. Ooh, okay, he wanted to play bishop b6. Okay, now I feel that if my knight will manage to reach either f5. Ooh, missed that one. Okay. Yeah, the problem with having no time is that all of these little tactical details start to be very much invisible. I'm not really sure I like this move, queen takes a6, picking up a pawn on the rim of the board, but I have almost no time on the clock to try and punish such movements. This is why I'm wasting time. Probably should pick up slightly longer time control, but my opponent, I think, is making a similar type of mistake. He's actually trying to play for my time, perhaps, rather than trying to find the best moves, which means that he also starts to blunder slightly. Okay, check. He cannot take my knight because of checkmate. Ooh, will he survive this checkmate? I'm not sure. He's going to check on h7 for sure. This is the only way maybe to delay the check. I will just not capture this bishop. I think I will very I will just go. Okay, that was a very strange game. Let's take a short look at it. Yeah, the time was a big factor here. Definitely should have played a bit faster. I think I kind of like my d5 move. I think this was okay. Let's see if the engine agrees. Yeah, the engine said white should take on d5, but he played e5. As you can see, the engine already kind of starts slightly liking black's position. So he says that the best continuation would be bishop takes, pawn takes, and now he doesn't even want to take the pawn. Okay, I can just take back the pawn on a3 apparently, but actually I don't think I planned to play this move. It seems a bit cheap to me. I just wanted to develop pieces maybe with rook d8 or rook c8. I don't think the pawn on a3 is so significant at this point. I don't think it's worth taking, let's say. I think basically this sacrifice is incorrect. But once again, with so little time on the clock, I definitely made some mistakes. Yeah, later on things started started being very random. Probably a very critical point in the game is where I blundered the exchange somewhere. Where was it? Somewhere around here. He found that bishop a7 move out of nowhere. Yeah, because I had at this point only a couple of seconds left on the clock, I even missed the fact that I can play queen b5. Yeah, and I blundered the exchange. Yeah, even though I think black is still kind of fine because we have opposite colored bishops, and his king is actually slightly more exposed than mine. My pawns are actually well placed to protect my king. I have a dark square bishop, and all of my pawns are situated on the light square, but his pawns are not being situated very well, I think. Yeah, later on he just blundered some checkmating attack, apparently. So, slightly lucky escape for me there. I very much hope to play some longer time controls later on. But regardless of this, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. See you guys.